Hello, everyone. Gonna play some Roadcraft. Let's see, put that on. I think that'll work. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, there it goes. Yay! Moved on to a new map, but oh yeah, I was collecting these. I was collecting these do thingies, these repair things or heater things. I think the other ones are up over there, aren't they? Let's see. Yeah. The fuel tanks. There we go. So we'll go park next there. Go get those. We'll get those fuel tanks there. It'll be fine. I'm Scottish or Irish or something now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Fun fact, at least according to my dad, I am part Irish. But I'm also part British, it's part Scottish, and I think part Swedish or German. I'm just a mutt, okay? And you gotta deal with it. I gotta deal with it, so I don't see why you shouldn't have to deal with it. But yeah, my plan is just to play some Roadcraft and ramble for about, I don't know, 2 hours. It'll be a good time. I'm just going to be talking about whatever. Because this is Roadcraft. There's not a lot to talk about when it comes to gaming. This ain't like it's Dark Souls or something. Oh, I can't play Dark Souls, man. I tried. I got the... Or no, not... I tried to play Dark Souls like. I tried to play Elden Ring. And I can't. I just don't have the patience. It's like, oh, you gotta like plan your encounters and whatever. And I'm like, I don't have patience for this. Whatever. So, for me, that game kind of falls into the... I like to watch other people play it. You know, kind of like how Space Station 13 falls for a lot of people. Like, I like to watch other people play Space Station 13. Or for EVE Online, it's more like... I like to hear stories about people playing that game. Yep. And yet I see, and like, you know, a lot of people, they might be good at Dark Souls, but they can't handle... They can't sit in the in the spreadsheet minds of EVE Online and, you know, and give it a good go and post on the forums. Rocco.
We're not stealing them. We're just borrowing them.
Mm.
Not even for ourselves, but for the good folk of Sirocco. Who'll owe us a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll pick up the bill later. So put your guilty conscience to rest and get to work.
I'm pretty sure I've seen like heist movies start out not dissimilarly. Sirocco. Borrowing. I'm sure there's something there about, like, what is it if you take out a loan that the other person doesn't know about? Because I never started this map on stream, not that it matters, because I'll probably end up repeating myself a million times anyway. What happened here is that the natural gas company mined out all the natural gas, and then, like, the natural gas caves collapsed. I think that falls into the fraud category. No! Don't be that way! Why you gotta be like that? Don't be negative. Yep. One. I was playing that game that Gerbotol linked to me over Discord earlier. Your AI slot bores.me. And it's pretty good. You basically LARP as an AI while other people ask you prompts. Or you can ask the prompts after you LARP as an AI for a bit. That was fun. Although I think that they need to work on their system a bit. I think if people are waiting over like 10 minutes or something for a prompt, you should increase the number of human players, because how it works is you get tokens for answering prompts from other humans. And then that allows you to make your own prompts to ask the AIs. But the problem here is that it incentivizes people to LARP as the AI, but nothing really incentivizes people to play a human. I mean, you stop getting tokens after 10, so then you kind of get an incentive to use them. But what I found is that there just aren't enough people giving prompts as there are answering them, so you end up having to wait like 10 minutes for a prompt. Very annoying. There we go. Look, I'm a history major. Half the stuff I have to study falls into negative categories. That's fair. Do you have a particular historical period that you prefer to study? Are you doing postgraduate level studies? I like history. I probably don't know nearly enough about it, but I like it. Oh, I had my other wagon there the whole time. Oh well. Let's see, I gotta bring these. Where am I bringing these? Yes, deliver them where? Ah, it's a countryside base. Okay, so I gotta go. Oh yeah, that way. Okay. Mostly early 20th century stuff, labor union history, and international shenanigans of the time. Ah. Oh, man. One thing I've always been curious about and I've never looked into is why did unions get taken over by the mafia? Because, like, New York City unions, and actually in Montreal, here in Canada, there was I know in New York City it's not a big thing anymore, but it used to. But here in Canada, there's still some stuff with like mafia influences in like in Montreal politics and stuff. It's bizarre. I'm like, why is that? Were they just like were they just like buying people off? Is it because they both hate capital? So they're actually like friends. It's like, yeah, you hate your boss. Guess what? We hate your boss too. That's why we're crimers. Oh. And so, guys, it's a scratch my back thing. Basically, subgroups at the Teamster unions help with smuggling while mobsters protect them, though it was mostly good old corruption. Yeah. I mean, you can't really underestimate the power of just like graft, man. Oh, you're going to give me a bunch of money? That sounds good, man. Whatever you want. Oh yeah, just a little game design thing I want to talk briefly about. I don't know if I can find any examples now. I just passed one. Let me just see if I can find one. Just there's an interesting game design thing that the Roadcraft people did here that I want to just point out, because it's not something you see very often. And now I can't find an example of it. Dang nabbit. Hold on. Maybe over here? Not really. Oh, but you know what? Oh, I'm going to get this through here. Yeah. Oh, what am I going to do? Okay, you know what? I'll have to go back around anyway. I don't see it happening here. But yeah, and I guess the thing is, though, like, why were the unions the corrupt ones? I mean, I'm sure Capital could be corrupt too. But I guess they're the people that are the target of the extortion, right? It's like, oh, you want to get your bridge built or whatever, you got to pay us, or we're just gonna have the union workers strike to shut your shit down. Which basically just amounts to the mafia paying to have the bridge shut down, to have the bridge construction shut down, until the capital holders pay to have it put back. Okay, so here we are. Here, let's back up a little bit, see if I can get a bit closer. Just want to point this out. Look at this building, okay? You see how those doors are open there? Like, you can kind of see inside. You see there's just like a table and a chair, stuff. It's just something that you see a little bit, at least on this map, where you kind of get the idea like this was a world. Like there's like more than what you're experiencing, more than what you can see. There's like a spot there. You can't get in there. There's no way to get in there. Even with a tiny truck, you still wouldn't be able to get in there. But, you know, it's just like, oh, there's something over there. There's something, you know, there's more to this world than you can see. There's just a little atmospheric detail like that. Is, you know, it's good. Okay. Let's, get McLean. There we go. It was more union bosses regarding some old unions. They had to start with strong arms due to how much pushback there was, and depending on the region of the U.S., that meant full-on gunfights. Yeah. Jeez. I mean, I know that the Pinkertons were no joke. That stuff even still goes on. Maybe not to that quite that level, but yeah. I read what was the book name again? Oh, I can't remember her name now. Whoa, huh? No. What? What? What happened? Why does this shit always happen to me? Okay. Oh, no, not that one. Not that button, friend. Let's try that again. Oh. What was that person's name now? This is bothering me. Hold on. I'm just going to quickly Google it. I'm glad the goofy armor physics have put in other games. Is that what that is? Oh my goodness. Maybe I won't put the anchors out until I clear away some stuff. Okay, hold on. I gotta just do a quick search. What's that? No. What's her name? Can't I remember her name now? You have no idea how many times I've accidentally sent a tank into space by not hitting the brakes fast enough. Uh-huh. Jane McAlvery, that was her name. She was doing a I can't remember what contract she was bargaining for, but apparently she got into the elevator with the one of the bosses, like one of the owners, and his like guard or whatever, and they did the whole thing where they hit like the emergency stop and like threatened to like break her arm or something. It was insane. And it's just like, oh, no, 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 no. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, I gotta get the anchors out for that. But yeah, that kind of intimidation still happens. Although I think that what's like far, I don't know if it's like common, but it's kind of like, oh, let's see how this goes. Okay, we're good. I think what's probably more common now, though, is just I wouldn't say union leaders themselves being corrupt, as it is just kind of maybe cowardly, maybe just getting intimidated. Because I live in Alberta, and we had like a big teachers union strike back in October, where because the classroom size situation is insane over here. Basically, you're dealing with, in some cases, like 50 kids in a class. My God! Oh. 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 Okay. That's not going to work, though. The boom isn't long enough. You know what? Maybe it is better just to go around the other way, actually. Why is one of the feet missing? It's a little alarming. But yeah, we had a big teacher strike in Alberta around October, and it was over class sizes, and it went on for a month. So a month of no school. And in the end, the government just imposed the contract. They just said, well, that's the contract. You got to work it. We passed a law similar to what they tried to do in Ontario. But in Ontario, they threatened a general strike. Here, they pushed out. They just didn't do it. They said, oh, okay, well, I guess that's that. We lose. So now there are about 30,000 employees in Alberta that actually are second-class citizens. They don't have as many rights. Like, if I were to go work for a company that had a union that was not an educational institution, I would have more rights than them, because they actually were forbidden from collective bargaining for the entire duration of the 4-year contract. So, with the imposition of I think it's a $5,000 fine per individual, as well as $50,000 fine for the organization per day per individual. It's like insane, and that's just something that you're allowed to do in Canada. Yeah, they banned it. Yeah. For teachers, you cannot collectively bargain. It's banned. You're not allowed to do it. In 5 years, they'll be allowed to again, unless it gets renewed. Because when you take away fundamental rights in Canada, it's kind of like you can only do it on a temporary basis. So every 5 years, you have to renew the legislation. But yeah, Yeah, I'm not like exaggerating that at all. So I have a friend who's a teacher, and he's a second class citizen. He actually has fewer rights than everybody else in the country. Not just Alberta, in the country. There nowhere else in Canada has collective bargaining been banned on this, like, in this kind of style. Contract imposition, imposed contracts have happened, but not bans to collective bargaining. Just dump this over here. That's fine. Yeah, we're doing our steady slide into Viktor Orbanism here in Alberta. We're getting there. So yeah, that's a thing. Let's see, I gotta put the tanks in first. I don't know what I gotta do with the generator. Probably just gotta deliver it somewhere else. Even better, they actually reneged on the contract that they imposed. So one part of the contract was to hire 3,000 more teachers. What they didn't say, though, was that that is actually the 3,000. That is actually just part of like general education funding. So it's actually not to hire teachers. It's just well, we put in some more money in the system, and I guess the administrators could use it to hire teachers if they want to. It's bad, man. Yeah, we have similar problems here. The U.S. can't ban collective bargaining, but the amount of worker real concerning. Oh, on the U.S., they really screwed over you guys. At least here, we still actually have at least in Alberta, because this is managed provincially. It's not something that's federally managed. But we still have an Alberta like relations board. It still operates. It still hears cases and stuff. We still have a non-cooked court system that will educate things. That's currently what the ATA, the Alberta Teachers Association or Union. That is what the union is. That's currently the route they're going to. They're trying to get like legal opinions on taking away people's rights in this way, but it's not going to go anywhere because it's perfectly legal. You're just going to have a bunch of judges tell you that yeah, it's pretty gross, but they're allowed to do it. Let's see. No, not that one. But yeah, you guys in the U.S., you actually don't have a functioning National Labor Relations Board anymore. Trump was the first thing he did when he one of the first things he did when he took office was he fired enough people to prevent the board from having a quorum, and now they're just not hiring anybody, not appointing anybody. So the National Labor Relations Board is effectively out of service. Okay, so this one has to go back over there, I guess. Okay. We don't have a functioning government. I mean, in a lot of cases, you don't. It's really sad. And then the Supreme Court, because it's been completely cooked by far right judges. They banned mandatory union dues, so which actually apparently backfired, because apparently now that they've been made voluntary, actually the unions are getting more money I don't know how. Like, I think it's just a quirk of like, you push hard enough, there's like a reaction. So, but yeah, you no longer can you be is it compulsory to donate to or to pay your union dues when you have a union job. They also made it so that when a union takes a strike action, the union is responsible for capital damages that are incurred because of the strike action. You disrupted the business. You got to pay for that, man. You can't disrupt the business. You can't disrupt the money. What are you doing? That's terrible. You got to pay for that. What? That's like the point of a strike. Oh. Like, what's the point of a strike if it doesn't disrupt the operation of the business? What? So that's pretty terrible. Oh man, I hope you guys can pull something. Might as well have said it strongly worded, like, file a grievance. So yeah, I hope that you guys can pull something out of there. I'm tempted to say that maybe the U.S. isn't as cooked as my provinces in Canada, but then I kind of remember. I just remember because I've done all the research for my video on ice. I just haven't like put it together because I'm lazy and I decided to do this instead. But part of that was I had to like look at like these stupid Homeland Security posts that are just like they're just vice signaling. And like if one of our politicians tried to do that, it wouldn't go well. It would not go well. And then also, like, our premier embezzled a buttload of money from a private business interest, and that scandal's still haunting her, like, a year later. So, at least there's, like, some form of accountability here, whereas Trump could just give himself $1 billion, nobody cares, like, yeah, man, sure, why not? Oh man. So yeah, it's not good, folks, but all we can do is just hope that something better comes out of it. That's about it. How come? Oh, there it is. I'm like, where's the blue thing that tells me where I gotta deliver this? I need my blue outline. I'm not capable of independent thought. I need an outline to tell me where to drop things off. Don't get me started on great leader's unique idea of handling conflict. Well, it was already detailed in shit. This is what I mean. I'm like a little bit sleepy, so I can't remember anything. What was that name of that movie? It was a mob movie. It was one where he's like, "We're wise guys," but I can't remember the name of the movie. But anyway, it's embodied in the mob boss's attitude there, which is "fuck you, pay me." Yeah, this whole Iran situation is just fucking insane. Ooh, I ramped it. Born too late to go to the Middle East. Born too early to go to war in the Middle East. Born just in time to go to war in the Middle East. Woo! I can't even believe that. I can't believe there might actually be boots on the ground. Oh, that's gonna go well. That's gonna be just fab. I like how he's tried to like guilt NATO nations into doing it. We were there for you guys when we protected Ukraine. Never mind that we actually like signed an agreement that said we'd do that. No, you know, we were there. Now you got to come and participate in the wars that I start. Like what? Ukraine didn't start a war with Russia. What the hell? That's not what NATO is for. NATO isn't so that you could just like, I punched somebody and they punched me back. You guys got to help me now. Like what? Oh, let's see if there's anything. Nope. Whoop. He knows he's going to get cooked in the midterms, so he just... at this point, like... I'm pretty sure... ugh. Oh, that's what controls that gate. I'm like, how's that gate open? Yay! Exciting.
Now it's time to get serious about those river lock repairs. We're going to need a mountain of concrete, that's for sure. Take a drive to the concrete plant, see what shape it's in, and you can also set up a direct route from the countryside base so our engineer crew can get there.
Engineer crew.
Potholes on the way if you need to. They're engineers, not test drivers.
Why don't they engineer a solution to that problem? It's like because that's your job. Let's see. Is this one of those like maze things? I don't know. Is this like Maze Runner? It's nothing like that. Let's see. Well, I'll go do the other one, I guess, first. Oops. Where's it going? Right. The river lock. Let's see. I mean, it should be good. I should probably just do it, right? Let's try. I mean, those are big semis, so they might need more paving. Although it can't be as painful as the cement truck route I had to do on the last map. The cement trucks were awful. They had no traction on anything. I had to pave like a double wide road, and then even then I had to have a search and rescue truck. Oh, this isn't the right way. Where am I going? Not that way. Not that way, friend. I gotta go around. Let's see here. I'll resume my commentary once I plot the route. This requires too much brain power. Oh wait, not that way, friend. I'm gonna drive down onto the pier. I'm going the right way, right? Yes. And no. Oh well. I mean, at least I can use this gate now. This road is complete. Hopefully it's wide enough. Alright, let's see. Only got a pilot vehicle. That's nice. Little van. And then the semi-truck, yeah. Oh, and a fuel truck, too. Trying to remember what I was talking about now. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they know they're going to get clobbered in the midterms. There's just no denying it. So at this point, I think I agree with... so I watch Vosh. We can talk about the controversies if you want to talk about them, but it doesn't matter. I watch Vosh, and I think he's right when he says that the entire administration's just given up. They just don't care. And they're just like trying to run out their time. Interestingly, it's even interesting how he's kind of gone back on the whole like immigration thing. He's like, we're just trying to get the illegal criminals now. Whereas before, he's like, we got to get these guys out of our country. Oh, and like Stephen Miller's like, shut up. He's just gone. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one way to solve the problem. Okay, that's going to be an issue. Let's see what we can do about that. They got to do like a bigger turn, I think. Try that. No, I hate it when it does this. I don't know why it does that sometimes. A point just jumps out. Oh. Well, I don't think this is going to work. Oh, yeah. Just stack up there. Yeah, very good job. Might have to go the other way, eh? Might have to go the other way. All day. What if I do like a really wide... Ooh, let's try something like that. I don't know. Gotta watch out for that pole. God, I love this new form of escort questing. Oh, this is like bridge builder vibes. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay. Just knock that tree over. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Maybe I have to do it that way then. Okay. Let's see. Try going this way. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Try that. So you basically got to plan the route. Is that not going to work either? Oh, the quartering on these semis just isn't good enough. Nope. Let's try... More like that. So I'm trying to figure out a good route that these semis can handle is all you can do. It's tough, man. Hello. Have you come to watch me suffer? Yeah. I like it when they ram each other. Ramming speed. Always. So Goon Station Classic has been able to hold its population for the most part. The problem is that they've basically turned Goon Station Classic into the RP server. There's only 2, maybe 3 major differences now. Because one thing they did was Classic used to have, I think it was, I want to say like 1 to 6, 1 to 7 antagonists. So the rounds were always more chaotic, meaning like 1 antagonist per 7 players. Now it's 1 to 10, the same as the RP server. So that sucks, because the rounds aren't chaotic anymore. So really, the only differences now is that there are escalation rules for antags on RP when there's not for Classic, and the rounds are 60 minutes instead of 90 minutes. So it's like you might as well just play on the RP server now, because that's where everybody plays. And that makes me sad. Because I'm not too big a fan of the 90-minute rounds. And I like the more chaotic rounds. So I'll probably still play on the RP server from time to time. Oh yeah, I checked out Goob Station for Space Station 14, and I'm going to try it, but just reading their documentation is pretty funny. Because they've committed I don't know, I don't want to get all philosophy brained on people, but they've committed like a structuralist mistake. You just hear clunk. They believe that you can get rid of. They believe that you can get rid of ambiguity with excessive structures. So what they've done is they've turned their rules into like a weird legalese system of like punishments and then multipliers, and then the punishments are grouping or the offenses are grouping or non-grouping depending on what category they fall into. So like all the offenses are categorized now, and I don't know what this is supposed to accomplish, because it's ridiculous. The idea, like, what is the idea? Oh, we have to make it fair. It's like if a rules lawyer tries to think of, like, you hire the rules lawyer, say, like, look, we get a lot of complaints from people. They say that we don't enforce the rules fairly, so what are we going to do? And then you hire the rules lawyer, and they're just like, oh, well, the answer is you need a very complex and labyrinthine set of rules that it would take a law degree to understand. Oh, cool. Why not, man? Okay, we gotta go look for concrete, I guess. Okay. I'll drive this thing. Okay. So it's absolutely mind-boggling to me. Nobody's gonna read that exhaustive set of, like, administration, like punishments and stuff. The rules that are listed on the rules page are kind of like common sense, although even then they're pretty extensive. And it's like, what are you doing? It's already an accessibility problem that, like, you have to read so much just to be able to play the damn game. Oh no, that just invites invites rules more lawyers. Yeah, it does. There's even a clause in there. There's even a clause in there that says, "Oh, by the way, if you're able to quote, if you think the admin makes an error and you're able to quote the rule that they didn't enforce properly, you'll get like a discount on your sentence or something." It's like, what? If you can backseat the admin, it's cool, man. We gotta respect that. So I'm just like, oh, that sounds terrible. Can I get around here? So I plan on trying out Goop Station just anyway, because from what I read of the rules, I mean they're decent. It's fine, but yeah, I was pretty funny. It was pretty funny reading how like the admin policy works, because getting rid of ambiguity doesn't necessarily make the system more fair if the way you do that is you just create an excessive amount of rules. Or an excessive amount of guidelines for enforcement of said rules. Do I need sand here? Is that how I'm going to get in there? I gotta get in this giant pit. Oh, maybe that I can go down that way. I don't know. Let's try. Oh. You always need sand. You would say that, wouldn't you? Alright. Well, let's move some stuff. Alright. But a crane in this case might help. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Cranes have been kind of acting up on me today. They're getting a little bouncy. I had my other crane. It turned into a frickin' bounce house. Boing. Just shoots up. Okay. What if I just dump this down here? Poof. Yeah. Some big debris. Some big detritus. What do you do? So yeah, as a post-structuralist, I do not think Goob's approach is going to work. I do not think it's going to solve the problems that they think it's going to solve. And instead, they're still going to have people... I didn't see it bounce. Do it again. And instead, it's going to result in still people complaining that the rules aren't enforced properly, because... That's not because the rules are ambiguous. It's just because, you know, people are always going to try to make whatever case they can to grief people in Space Station 13. I say that on a theoretical level as well as what was even the point of that then? I thought you could just like bowl these over or something. Well, let's see. Do I want to go around and then go down that way? Sand! Yeah, sure. Why not? I got nothing better to do. Actually, do I even have a quarry here? Oh, it's over there. Wah. You have to truck it. Might as well just put the sand down here then. I could try honking at it. That probably won't work. Usually, if you can honk at things, they'll be destroyed if you. Yeah. Usually, if you can honk at it, it will be destroyed also by by running into it. Honk. All right. Let's get ready for the sandening. Gonna need some sand and a bull. Gonna need a dump truck and a bulldozer. I like the tracked dump truck. I don't know why. I think I just like tracked vehicles in general. I haven't tried out the bridge layer yet. I want to. Do. I should check out FTL Station again too sometime, just to see what changes they've made. Maybe there's some new ships. I like seeing new stuff. New stuff is fun. It's going to be a lot of sand. Fill in this whole thing. Oh, God. Who would even want to watch that? I don't know why, but I was just reminded of... I think it's because of the union talk. I was reminded of the DS9 episode where Rom starts a union. And he's like working on his union speech, and Quark interrupts him and like tries to work out a deal, which Rom doesn't accept because he wants to be radical. He wants a better deal, and then he starts quoting the Communist Manifesto. And Quark is just like, "What happened to you?" In sad news, we recently discovered that they took off the all the Star Treks from Netflix in Canada. I don't know if they did it in the States too. So that was sad. So that's sad. I'm glad that I watched them while I had the chance, because they're all gone now. Yep. You gotta go on Paramount Plus now. I guess, you see, this is the problem with streaming. Like, at first it was only Netflix. So, more than a hero union, man, yeah. Aloysius O'Brien. You know, there was only Netflix at first, so I was like, okay, well, you can just pay one fee and you can get access to like everything because everybody uses Netflix. But now everybody has their own streaming service. So now, you know, it's a clever ploy by Capital. We want the consolidation now so that we can have one service again. They got us. They got us over a barrel, guys. We're screwed. We're done for. International capital is one. Our interests are now fully aligned. More sand. I never got my butt. Oh, shit. I forgot to turn the bot on. To be fair, it's been a while since I've done that, so... Let's do it right now. I can activate the butts for the people that wanted butts. Alright, let's take a look here. It was just you. Okay. Oh, it's a redeem, not butt. There we go. Oh. This is unfortunate. Who could have foreseen this turn of events? Can I, like... No. No. Come on. Come on. It does not need to end this way. Oh. Easy. Oh. Whew. Hey, there's just cement slabs down here. Oh. Easy. So it's not working out as expected. It's fine. You have a crane nearby. I don't think that crane can pick this thing up. And that crane... Well, actually, no. That one probably can. It's the big boy crane. I might have to. Need more sand. Well, let's try that. I thought it was the smaller mobile crane that I had here for some reason. But it's not. Oh, man. Let me in, I'll lend you sand. I'll hand you sand. Yeah, sure, why not? I'm only going to be playing for another, like, hour, though. Just so you know. There you go. See if you can. I just opened it up. Okay. Uh-huh. Whoa. Oh boy. Easy now. Easy now. Oh, oh, oh. We're making progress. It's like, why don't I just use the recovery points? I can afford a lot of them because I don't want to. Real men don't use recovery points. Ooh. Alright. Park that over there. Back to work. Bloop. I've been watching Slavoj Zizek lectures lately, so I'm a little bit philosophy-brained right now. I was actually looking on Amazon at some of his books, and he's got one. They got one right now for like $2. So I got to get it. Gotta get it. And do some reading. But listening to his lectures is interesting, but then you start reading up on like Lankian theory and stuff, and it's like it's an interesting method of analysis, but the principles are all the principles of like any kind of like psychoanalysis are all kind of like weird, because it all goes back to like Freudian theory and like the Oedipal complex and whatever, and it's just like, what the hell? And there's not really any like basis for it. It's just like, that's what it is. And it's like, I have issues. Apparently, Lankin wrote a book called Name the Father. I think it's called Name the Father, or that's like it's a principle. I think that's the book. I can't remember. Where like, it's like law is encoded in the symbology of the father figure, and they act as a governor from the privileged relationship of the mother figure and the child. And I'm just like, what the hell? And people get down on Jung because Jung like said similar weird stuff because he got high on like shrooms or something, and had like visions, and then he called those visions the archetypes. And he also believed in like weird stuff like synchronicity, where like a beetle landing, a beetle landing on an arm could mean like all sorts of things in like the psychological dimension or something. It's bizarre. And it's like, if you want to accept like psychoanalysis of things, you actually have to accept all this other stuff. I should be clear though, this is not related in any way to clinical psychology, which is where you actually get into like, okay, like, how do we help people feel better? How do we actually help people with problems? Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm not kidding. Like, clinical psychology is like, okay, like, cognitive behavioral therapy and stuff. How do we help people with problems? How do we help people, like, fix up their life or whatever? But psychoanalysis is weird. And so it can be fun, but also it's kind of like, when you hear, like, pop philosophers like Zizek talk about stuff, it's important to kind of have that knowledge so that you can kind of ground your understanding of what he's saying. Zizek, for his credit, he's also like a Marxist and stuff, so he actually uses like material conditions and stuff in his analysis, which makes him quite good. But there's some other people that don't. I've heard some wacky things, but that's definitely new. Yeah, It's something, man. You can look up Jungian synchronicity, is what that is. It's also why, Jordan Peterson, for example, is an okay clinical psychologist. I mean, he's got a lot of papers. He was more of an entrepreneur than he ever was a psychologist, though. He didn't really make his money teaching. He made it doing management consulting. And now he makes it by being a grifter. And also his brain's cooked now, so now he's just like not much of anything. But yeah, but that's also why, even he would just get into the weeds. Like, well, everything's related to like the Christian whatever, and you're just kind of like, okay, buddy, whatever. You got to calm down. Not everybody has to be a Christian. Calm down. But his thing was always that he was just a grifter. He just made his money by lying. To date, still, I live in Canada, and nobody's been put in jail for misgendering someone. Yay! Help has arrived. Oh, I can actually just stand there now because the fill radius is okay. Honk my horn. There we go. Yeah. There, this will make things go a little bit faster. A little bit faster. Because I'm just dumping sand. Trying to make a ramp. And that fill radius multiplier thing, that's definitely a multiplayer feature. Like, it works in single player, but it's just, why would you ever do it? What am I doing? Yeah, if you look up like Jungian archetypes, that is what happened. Like, I don't know if that's on the Wikipedia page, but I know that is what happened. He got high or something, or maybe he just had a concussion. I don't know, and then he had all these archetypes show up to him, and there was like I can't remember what they all were, and there's like. He names some of he names like this character that was like introducing them all to them and stuff. It was weird. It's weird, man. I'm not a wizard, but I play one in real life. Da da da. I need a lot of sand. Unable to refill the tipper. Oh, I gotta wait till you're done. Da, 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 da. I like how it just instantly disappears from your tipper. Just boip. Sounds like whatever a Greek or Roman philosopher, some wacky stuff ever. Just if I came to me in a dream. Yeah. And I have to say that like stuff that you could get through psychoanalysis can be insightful or interesting. It's just it's important to keep it grounded in that knowledge that there's not really a great evidentiary basis. You still have to ground it in like a material conditions. And I guess that's the point though of analysis, is that the idea is just to give you a different framework to work with information that that is different than from whatever you might currently be using. Yeah, whenever I hear like Freudians knock unions and stuff, I'm just like, man, you guys, you're all on the same level to me, okay? Whee! It's going to require a lot of sand. And then a lot of dozering. I'll take the material as if I dive into velocity. What? Oh, I can't fill it on an incline, I guess. Whatever. Annoying. I mean, hey, you know, I don't mind sounding like a wizard. I'm tempted to read some of it just to, you know, it's like, oh, it's fun. And, you know, to be fair, you can get some legitimate insights. But it's one of those things where it's just important not to, I don't know, it has to be grounded, you know? I certainly wouldn't be, you know, betting on, like, stock options or something based on psychoanalysis. That's a bad idea. You should probably have, like, some, you know, material reason for doing so. But I like to have fun. I like to experiment. Rawr. I almost went into philosophy. But I backed out at the last minute because I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of debt to take on, and I'm not going to get a job at the end. I might as well just not have a job and have no debt. Whee! Does help to have another person there. No debt sounds nice. Well, I mean, you know, there's still mortgage debt, but mortgage debt and student loan debt, that's it's a little much. It's a little much. I was wringing my hands together earlier anyway, because, like, I should see the dentist sometime. And, you know, people talk about, like, oh, Canada has universal health care. Well, it doesn't cover dental. There is a federal dental plan. I haven't looked into it too much yet, because I think it's only for seniors right now. I don't know if, I think Carney might, there was plans to give it to regular people, but then I don't think they did. I don't know, I have to look it up. But, yeah. I've just not been going to the dentist because I can't really afford it. Eventually. When I did website technical support, that was actually pretty sweet because they actually had like a really good dental plan. It covered everything. It was very rare. Usually in Canada, when you get a dental plan, it's kind of like U.S. private insurance. It has usually doesn't have a copay, but oh, come on. Oh, okay. But it usually doesn't have a copay, but it'll have like year limits, and there can also be a lot of dentists like to charge more than the fee guide, so then you have to pay that out of pocket. They also might not cover the whole procedure, so it'll be like 80% or 50% or whatever. So private insurance sucks. I'm sure if you're in the U.S., you already know all about it. And all the Alberta separatists really want private insurance because they're dumb. Yeah, the thing I really hate though is it was the other day. I'm just trying to watch YouTube videos while I play Roadcraft, okay? That's what I want to do. But no, the stupid Second Street video shows up, which is obviously like some kind of conservative dark money op thing. Because they're like, oh, are you having problems with health care? Well, Alberta is going to follow the French example, and we're putting private health care in, and then that way you'll be able to see a doctor faster. And we went to France, and we talked to people about the Alberta wait times. 2 years for hip surgery. That's absurd. And it's just like... and then it's just a bunch of French people who you don't know who they are. They might not even be real people. You don't know. They're probably just people that they paid to say shit. And like they completely miscontextualize the issue, saying, "Oh well, it's private providers that somehow magically, fix the public system," but that's not true. The reason why France has cheaper health care is one, regulation. It's a regulated, they regulate healthcare. Even if you're a private provider, you're still regulating healthcare. And two, is doctors. See, what a lot of these places neglect to mention is that first, doctors make 60% of what they do in the U.S. in France. It came to be a dream modern. Oh yeah, and why? And it's like, well, why did they become a doctor in France if you only get paid 60%? Well, one reason is that med school is free. You don't pay anything to go to med school. So in Canada, we have, I think it's like 22-ish doctors per, God, what is it? 22 doctors for every 1,000 people, I think it is. In France, they have 40 some. It's insane. So the reason why healthcare is cheaper in France is because they have way more doctors. All right, gotta do some dozering. All right, get in there. Well, I need to book a flight to France then. Well, now, when you count the cost of flying there and stuff, it might not be. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna dump one more load. I'm dumping a load. But yeah, extremely frustrating. I had to listen to some stupid dark money op video. I haven't gotten that dozer yet. Oh yeah, and then also for the argument that private healthcare practices reduce wait times, that's just not true because the number of doctors stays the same. So all that really happens is that people who pay for the private procedures get moved to the head of the line. Or what happens in Alberta's case, because you can't do that here. If you try to do something like that, you'll contravene the the Canada Health Act, which says that you can't gate access to healthcare behind ability to pay, basically. And you will lose all your federal health funding, which would be bad. So what they do here is they contract out easier surgeries to private clinics. The problem there is that, first, that doesn't do anything to fix the amount of surgeries that need to be done. They're still getting done by doctors that are in the province, except now those doctors are working in a private clinic instead of a public one. And also, the private clinics charge more, and you have to pay them more, and for easier surgeries. So all you do is you take all the easy surgeries out of the public system, and then anytime somebody wants to work in the public system, they get paid even less, because not only do they get paid do they get paid the same, like they just get paid the standard fee for a surgery. They're only doing complex surgeries, which take longer to do. So it is one of the most frustrating things ever. And the misinformation is only going to get worse because we're going to be heading into a separation vote soon. I wonder if I can get down there. Let's see. I'll take this one. Because our premier's doing the whole flood the zone with shit strategy. Separation vote, yes. So, in Alberta, we have a unique phenomenon, which is Alberta separatism. So this is people that don't want to be in Canada anymore. Because they perceive Canada as holding them down, because what they do is they basically say that if they didn't have to pay federal taxes, then somehow the province would be better off. It's stupid. But the problem is that we have dumb politics in Canada, or at least in Alberta. This isn't a good idea. I shouldn't have brought this down here. I gotta fill in more sand down here to get this thing around. Can I even get it over there? Is it just gonna... Oh. Yeah. Needs more sand. That's all I can do. Okay. No. Get the dump truck. It's gonna be really annoying. I gotta... What's the radius like with the other truck there? Oh, I got it mostly down there. So, the idea is, this is like Texas constantly shouting it wants to secede. Yes, except that the difference is that in Texas, you can't legally secede. There's no mechanism for it. It's not going to work. In Canada, you can. It is a possibility. It's a thing that is possible to do. So the main issue is, but there's a lot of issues. For example, Indigenous land. Indigenous land is federally held in trust. So if Alberta were to secede, there would be numerous patches that would still be under federal Government of Canada control. I'm pretty sure if they don't take BC with them, which they're probably not going to be able to do, then they would also need to... there would also need to be a corridor through which, the Trans-Canada Highway, for example, would run. You also have issues of railways. Railways are that's all federal land. And they actually have extended property rights, so, how's that going to work? There's other issues like the Canada Pension Plan, which, they try to say, oh, well, we're going to be entitled to more of the Canada Pension Plan than we should be entitled to half of the Canada Pension Plan. That's stupid. Because it doesn't work that way. When you collect the data, you realize that the only reason Alberta pays more into it than it takes out is because people don't retire here, because Alberta's a soulless province. There's no beauty here. It is all flat. It is all full of oil rigs. Nobody wants to live here. They just want to work here. So, there's that issue. It's terrible, and we're gonna so the premier isn't exactly upside down on a lot of these votes. Why on earth would they get part of the pension plan when they secede? There is a mechanism in the Canada Pension Plan that says if you want to start your own pension plan, you can. So the idea would be to start our own one, then secede. after we get the funds out of the federal one. But the problem is, and this is very clearly enumerated in the law that establishes the pension plan, if you want to start your own pension plan, the federal minister, not the province, would decide what you get. They can use any formula they want. And it's just like, holy shit, man. So you think you're gonna cause all these issues to get like nothing? Not to mention there's like startup costs. You got to pay for. You want to succeed? Okay, you got to pay for your own tax collection, which we've already explored, and the government's already explored and discovered they can't do because the startup costs on that would be immense. You got to start up your own police service. You got to start up your own military. And the thing is, when you really get into all this stuff, what the Alberta government actually wants to do. Not the Alberta government. They don't actually want to do this. But the separatists, what they want to do, they don't want to secede. They don't want to be an independent state. That's how they'll market it. That's how they market it, because the actual plan is not really marketable, which is they don't want to secede. They want to join the United States. That's what it is. Why? Because they think they'll pay less taxes. That's it. They think they'll pay less taxes. I know. Yeah, that is the correct response. What? Apparently, one of Trump's advisors or something met with Jeffrey Rath, the guy who's kind of like one of the representatives for the separatist movement, and promised him they'd get a $500 billion loan from the United States to create an independent Alberta state. Like, bullshit, man. And the question is, and the stupid thing is, they actually think that, like, the U.S. would give Alberta a fair deal. I'm not making any of this up. I know, it sounds insane. They actually think that the U.S. would give them a fair deal. For what? I don't know. Well, they want our resources. If the U.S. wants your resources, they're going to take your resources. Like, what do you, like, are you insane? Why would they give you statehood? Why would they give Alberta statehood? And even if they did, it would be we would have no representation because our population's way too low. We have an outsized economy for our population, but our population is still extremely small. So, like, what's the plan here, guys? Like, nothing about it makes any sense. It is dumb enough. It is dumb enough that it really wasn't talked about. One of our previous premiers, who was also an insane person that, like, oh crap, I hate it when it does. It just like dripped out. It's like a little bit of sand just bloop. I am genuinely at a loss for words. Am I not in the radius? Oh, got to fill up the dump truck. I guess in a situation like this, it could be useful to have the expanded thing. You could just switch trucks, fill, and then empty. Yeah. But, yeah, it is extremely dumb. And I hate it. Someone forgot to fill the dump truck again. It's okay. I'll forgive someone. Oh god, that reminds me, my estate actually has its own secession movement too. Well, and that's the other thing that's important to remember. The United States is not divisible. There is no mechanism by which a state can secede. Canada is a confederation, and it is possible to secede. You can do that. There's a way to do it. There's no mechanism for a state to do it. Now, they could just, like, do it, but they would get pummeled into submission by the United States, like military and stuff, so fast. Even Texas, like it is insane. Oh man, I remember the national divorce discourse, like 2 years ago, because they they wanted to build their own border fence. And then Biden won the Supreme Court ruling. It says, like, yeah, you can send the troops in to dismantle their border fence that they're not allowed to build. And then he just didn't do it. Oh, like, what? Why even bother, man? I should probably, yeah. Oh, I get that. Just the last time we tried seceding, we started the largest conflict our country fought in so far. Was that the UN? Was that the Civil War? Wah. All right, let me get out of the way. Get out of the way. Yeah. Well, and Reconstruction shouldn't have stopped. That was the mistake. Oh, we got to compromise with the separatists so that they'll let us, like, do government things? Fuck you. Dan, do you want to come down here and doze a bit? Make things, spread this out. Because I don't think that I can really do much more until that's done. Oh, the Civil War. I still can't believe, like, the what was it, like, 3/5 compromise or whatever? Oh, we have more population. We should get more representation. It's like they're slaves. They're not really represented in government, and they can't vote. Also, recently, that there was a secession movement that wanted to break off from the South in the middle of the war, too. That's kind of like when you learn about like, so in humans, when humans have cancer, like, the cancer can, like, kill you, right? Because it causes all kinds of weird stuff to happen. But in whales, they're so big that when they get cancers, their cancers will get cancer and basically shut the cancer down. It kind of reminds me of that. That's looking good. Little ramp. Yeah, American politics can be interesting, to say the least. Indeed. Canadian politics, too. Oh, man. I discovered a new podcast recently called The Strategists. This is kind of like an electioneering podcast, right? And it's made by, I think one of the guys is like an operative for the opposition party here. And another one is, spread this out a bit. And another one of them is an MLA, member of Legislative Assembly. That's basically our provincial, like, Congress, you could say. I don't know if we'll be able to get the radius over here. Yeah, you really can't, can you? Oh well. I'll just have to drive. Gotta drive. I mean, we're almost there. This is actually working out. Pretty good. So anyway, they are some of the most cowardly people I can imagine. Like when people talk about like DNC consultant brain, and like how like the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, is like basically poisoning any chances for the Democratic Party to make any changes, like any shifts to a more left or populist agenda. This is the kind of shit they're talking about. They're literally just like, no, we can't change anything. It'll never work. People can't change. We just have to chase the polls. Whatever the polls say. They're the most cowardly people imaginable. And it was extremely frustrating to listen to an hour of these people talk. it was a good insight into why our opposition party sucks so hard. And they do. They suck so hard. Because in Alberta, we have an opposition party. They're called the NDP, but they're not really true to those principles. Because the NDP started out as a social democrat party. These people are not social democrats. They are, neoliberals. And they are some of the most cowardly people imaginable. They are partially the reason why when the teacher strike happened in October, there was no general strike. It was partially these people's fault. and now, like I said, we have a whole class of people that are second-class citizens. Oh, come on. We can't upset the investors. We can't touch the money. The money won't like it. It'll get mad. One thing I like about this truck is that you can dump the sand like this. Kind of creates a little bit more of a stable thing to drive on. If you make the money angry, what's it going to do to you? Get some more sand. Because, they were talking about, so federally, so the NDP is a federated party, meaning the provincial chapters are all linked to the federal party. When you buy a membership in a provincial chapter, you automatically get a membership to the federal party. That's what that means. And unlike the conservative parties and the liberal parties, they are not federated parties. You have to buy the membership separately. And they're not linked in any way. And federally, the NDP has also been a neoliberal party, but they're a neoliberal party, but they like people having more rights, I guess, or something. And what's happening right now is in the last federal election, the federal NDP got totaled. They lost almost all their seats. I think they have like 4 seats left. Actually 3 now. One of them crossed the floor to the Liberals recently, which was pretty funny. So what's happened is there's a leadership race because Jagmeet Singh, who's the first leader, he's kind of terrible. But, they're like, well, we can't do any better, I guess. And in the leadership race, there is kind of one candidate, Avi Lewis, who might actually be more of a socialist than we've ever had before. Wait, they could just leave the party to join the other one? Floor crossings in Canada are a valued Canadian tradition. So yes, you can just cross the floor if you want to. Our Alberta Premier did it once too. It's just something you can do in Canada. You won't get like blacklisted from like politics or anything. It's just something you're allowed to do. So anyway, so Avi Lewis is kind of like more of a socialist than we've ever had before, and what's happened is and he's actually like threatening to take the, like, I think he's in the front. He might be in the front runner spot right now, which is, you know, kind of exciting. But these people on this podcast are like, he's gonna lose. He's gonna destroy the party. You know, nobody wants this. He doesn't ever. And the way they put it, the language they used was interesting, because they didn't say like, oh, you know, he's a socialist or something. They didn't say that. What they said was, he doesn't have respect for our economic system or our system of politics. That's what they said. Which basically means he's not a neoliberal. And this was offensive. This was an offensive idea to them. And I'm just like, man, these people, like, if you ever want to know why things are the way they are, it really is because of people like this. They just don't dare to imagine that there could be anything better. It can't get better. Nothing is going to get better. And it's like, you know, like maybe you could try. Like, I don't know. And that's how come, you know, when these corporate Democrats or, you know, these neo-libs, they want to talk a big game like, oh, you know, we support trans rights, whatever. You can just ignore them. Because it's the same problem as people saying, oh, this used to be a big common thing, at least in my province. I'm socially liberal, but I'm fiscally conservative. I had a friend who would say this to me. And it's just like, well, that just means you're conservative. That's what that means. Because you can't be fiscally conservative. All that means is that you just want capital to run everything. And then capital's going to do whatever capital's going to do. Your socially liberal stances don't mean anything. They're just an excuse for you to say, like, well, I don't mind if gay people exist, but you kind of do mind, because their rights need to be backstopped with resources. That's the only way that you have rights. If you don't have any financial resources backstopping rights, then those rights don't exist. Like, you know, just as an example, as an example, one of the things that happens in the U.S. is, you know, ICE comes in because they want to bust your door down, and then they break a bunch of shit, and then they leave. Now, that's a Fourth Amendment violation unless they had a judicial warrant. And in most cases, they don't. They have what's called an administrative warrant, Form 1005, I think it's called, or 105, I can't remember. Something like that. But it's an administrative warrant. It basically means that it was signed by an ICE supervisor prior to them busting your door down. So, in America, you have a Fourth Amendment right not to be unreasonably searched and seized. However, one of the main problems is that you cannot actually sue ICE for all the shit that they broke. Because to do that, you would need to use a civil suit. But a state has sovereign immunity. That means you can't sue them for that shit. So you're just stuck with all the shit that they broke. Nobody's accountable. Nobody's going to have any, you know, if ICE isn't willing to do anything about it, nobody's going to do anything about it. So you may have a Fourth Amendment right, but there's no way to enforce it. So in effect, you actually don't have the Fourth Amendment right, and that kind of sucks. And this is what I mean when I talk about, you know, you can't be socially liberal and fiscally conservative. Because you can't actually have any of those so-called liberal rights, gay marriage, you want to, trans rights, whatever, if there's no way to enforce them. There's no capital method to enforce it. Like, rights are more than just things that you write on a paper. They have to be enforced and cultivated. So it's very frustrating when I hear people say that. Because they're just being disingenuously conservative. I think we're going to need another bulldoze here. Gotta do another bulldoze. I'll pull aside. Stand aside, dump truck. It's time for the dozer to come in. I like that dozer. Did you get that in the final level? I want one. So yeah, don't ever let people gaslight you with that crap. I don't think so. I think it says I have to unlock the chassis. Let's see. I've got money. I go to the shop. Attract heavy crane. I want that. That sounds fun. Not that one. Is it this one? No. Must be that one. Oh wait, no, I'm only looking at cranes. Look at dozers. Yeah, right here. Unlock the chassis by completing objectives.
Jeez Louise. You know, in this line of work, I've seen things. Heck, I've seen things today. I never expected this. A concrete plant, still in usable condition.
Yay!
Something. Okay, so it has no power right now. But it's still much better than if it had no power and was completely destroyed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you just need to get a backup transformer from the supply depot to the main power substation. And we've got ourselves some concrete. Oh, and patch up the road to the concrete slabs facility. That will get us on the right track.
It's, didn't I already do that? Let's get out of here. Rawr. Stupid forklift. Okay, objective. Yeah, I still gotta do that. Oops. The construction depot A. Okay. Okay. What do I have nearby? Just those dudes chilling. Just chilling. I guess I'll have to get one of my cars over there. One of my cranes. Do. Gotta head over to the concrete plant. Exciting. Oh yeah. See, Dan, aren't you proud of me? Instead of trying to go over there and build a bridge or whatever, I just laid sand all the way through that pond to get the transformer that was sitting there. You should be proud of me. What's the way in there? feel like there could be a more efficient way of getting around. One with less sand. Heresy! Execute that man. You speak against the sand, you speak against me. Because I'm just like sand. I'm rough and coarse and I get everywhere. Da, da, da. That's a big transformer. Get me flatbed. Gasp. I was reading on Reddit about like these flatbeds, and they pointed out, and I never noticed it, but how cheap they are, because you're meant to buy a lot of them. You are meant to buy flatbed. A flat bed for a flat head. What? What does that mean? What are you blathering about? I've been reading Human Restoration Project lately, so I've been kind of getting like education pilled, where I'm like want to make radical changes to the education system. For anybody who's not aware, which is probably everybody, so the Human Restoration Project is they're kind of a non-profit that kind of specializes in reforming or, you know, basically reimagining, radically changing the education system, because teaching to test is stupid, and we shouldn't do it. And can I grab this, please? And so it's frustrating because, you know, I have some proximity to the education system, and it's very frustrating when I hear about like what people do in classrooms and stuff, because we got to enforce classroom management, and it's like that they're acting out not because they're like degenerates or something. They're acting out because they're bored, because doing classwork is extremely boring, and even if they were to force themselves to sit still and quietly, they're still not learning anything. I'm like, what if you just like had like a giant like warehouse room, and people could just like float around and, you know, just pick like whatever they want to learn. You know, you just go, or you can do your own thing. You know, that's the other thing. A lot of kids come from like severely. How do I get? I don't know if I can cut through there. Can I? I got to go around, don't I? I'll go around. I'll go around. A lot of kids come from like severely disadvantaged households, and disadvantaged, whatever. And it's like not really whatever, because when I say disadvantaged, I mean like maybe they have like 6 other siblings, and they have to wake up and then take care of their other siblings, and possibly even take care of their parents before going to school, and then trying to do schoolwork. And it's like, when you don't have any time to like be a human, I think there's problems that occur. Ugh. And so it's like, it's and also like you're just being pulled around by all these myriad of responsibilities. There's no individual expression of will, right? See, this is the philosophy brain coming. You know, there's no individual way to express your will. So what you do is you just act out. That's what anybody does. It makes sense. And even crazier is like, there are people that don't. There are people, I have lots of restraint. I never act out. I always do what I'm supposed to do. And, I'm a compulsive people pleaser. I never try to act out or upset anything. These are the people, when I took a meditation class, right? Well, it was more of a class. It was like a recurring, meditation group thing. I don't do it anymore because I started to develop some serious issues with it. But anyway, I go there, and one of the things that they would do, you do a session, whatever, and then they might, they're like some new faces. So the guy would ask, hey, what brings you here? Why are you here? Try to get to know people a little bit. Maybe help you with, maybe find some insight or something. Who knows? Where's my crane? And I remember one lady, it's etched into my mind. She's a mom, and her kids have finally graduated school. Or no, actually, no, they have not graduated school. I'm getting it mixed up. She's a mom. Her kids are at home. She's looking after them. She's looking after their dad, all this stuff. And they had a family meeting or something. And she said, they have a calendar. You have 3 kids. You got to schedule things. You use a calendar for that. And she said, everybody has their own color. So, so-and-so has gray, so-and-so has green, so-and-so has blue. Her color was pink. And she remember looking at her calendar, and I don't know why this realization never occurred to her before, but it did occur to her this time. There's no pink on the calendar. She literally spends every day doing something for other people. The whole day. And that's insane. I would freak out. I would legit just I would start smashing things if somebody tried to put me in a system like that. It would and so she's like, this is my purple activity. And she was lucky. And I'm going to tell you why she was lucky. She was lucky because other people that would come in, they would be in their 60s, in their 70s. And they would discover that after a whole lifetime of suppressing themselves... let's see what Kelly's got to say first. Why? Wah. I did that. Yay! I did it already. Mm-hmm.
Would you believe it? It's time to finish with the construction here and move on to new, more exciting things. Just plan a route for the repair crews from the concrete slabs facility to the river lock and get yourself across.
Yay! Okay, anyways. Just going to finish what I was going to say and then probably we'll wrap up. So, there'd be people in their 60s, their 70s, they have a whole lifetime of just going to work, exhausting themselves, coming home, and their minds are just soup. And then eventually they start to realize they have free time again, and they don't have a job because they retired, right? And then they're just I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what's happening. They don't even know who they are anymore. It's weird. And that, they were the really unlucky ones because they had to wait until they were, retiree age to figure out that they never really... to figure out that they never really figured themselves out. That's just incredibly sad to me. It's, it boggles my mind. So yeah, I understand why, all this is to say, I understand why kids act out in class, because they're much more intelligent than we give them credit for, and they can tell what's happening. Okay, well, I think that's it for me for today. I got to wrap up here. Let's do some stuff. Let's do some redemptions and have a laugh or two. Let's have a laugh. Let's do a rate me. Your rating is abandoned mine. Oh no. Sometimes that's where I'm at. Is fuel unlimited or jet amount? I hope it's jet amount. Do a fish hat. Twitch like Twitch. Women fear me. It's true. True facts. Let's do a double butt. Alec butt moment. All right. I'll see everybody next time.